We're back, people, and today we're going to film on Malik Washington, Miami Dolphins rookie receiver, and I thought he showed some nice promise in this, preseason week 1 game. He was my favorite rookie that we drafted for the Dolphins, and I really liked what I saw for the most part. He did a lot of the dirty work. There's still things I want to see with him as like a receiver, getting some more targets, utilizing his skill set a little bit better, because, they gave him some routes that maybe didn't maximize his skill set, but it's nice to see the versatility. I want to see more things out of the slot from him, because that's where he's going to make his living. We also got to see him, do a solid work as a blocker. He was getting involved out there. I loved seeing that. And then also, just in the return game, he did decent enough as a kick returner that could give him a role to carve out early on. And as a punt returner, after the first one, which was a little bit sketchy, he went out there and, did his job. And I actually thought it looked very comfortable fielding punts, and even, had a nice return. I think they kept kind of running him on the same routes over and over again, and the DB started jumping things, especially when he was aligned on the outside. So I want to see him getting more work, but it's nice to see the blocking, the little things. You got to see the traits that really make him, a good player, stand out. And then, on the back end, we'll look at some of this punt return stuff later. But starting over here, first play that we're going to look at, really break it down. We got Malik in the slot, and they're throwing him just a quick screen. This is one of the catches he had. I like that. This was kind of a tougher catch to make. It was low, away from the frame, and he just snags it beautifully. He has really strong hands, and he does a great job of shifting his momentum upfield to catch this and get upfield quickly. And he's just tough to bring down. Like, for a smaller slot receiver, he has good play strength, kind of a build as a running back, and he runs forward, carries guys for like a couple extra yards. I think that's a big thing here. You can see that play strength, contact balance at his size, and really strong hands. And you can see the comfortability he just has, like ball skills overall, and you see it on the punt returns too. This was his biggest play of the game when they got him involved on a reverse. Nothing too crazy from him, but it's nice to see that they getting him involved in different ways, trying to just utilize his ability with the ball in his hands, and you just get to see him running out in space, and we got to see a little bit of this on punt return, kick return, but just nice to see different utilizations for him. You're going to see a double move where he's like, he's technically the outside receiver here at the snap. I want to see some more true slot reps where they give him and he's allowed to work versus zone, run option routes versus man. He didn't get to do a ton of that in this game, and I feel like that's where he'll thrive. Because I do think there were certain reps where I wanted to see more separation created from him, but he also wasn't put in the best situations always for that. Here we got to see him run the double move versus quarters, and this is actually a pretty nice rep where they actually give him a deep target, but he ends up getting double teamed. But if he was one-on-one versus the corner, he would have smoked him. Hits this double move and then explodes out. You can see the acceleration. I like the pace here. He's kind of slowing this down. Really selling this double move. Gets this DB to freeze. And accelerates past him. Gets on top of him. Has multiple yards of separation if it was just a one-on-one. But the safety's able to get back over the top. And there he basically gets bracketed, which is unfortunate. And the ball, was thrown out of reach anyways for Mike White. But if that was a true one-on-one, I think that could have been an absolutely big play. Getting involved vertically, that's a nice sign too. Just want to see more of the, very common slot concepts that you'll see from him, because I think that's where he's going to be throughout his career. But he does have to do some of these things as well to see some playing time. I did like the thing, he wasn't creating a ton of separations on these routes, even though, they kind of kept aligning him with these tight alignments. But he did a good job, I think, off the line of scrimmage with his releases and working blind spots. I think it's a good sign. I think the process that he was showing on these plays is good. And, maybe the results weren't exactly what he wanted, but having a better process over the results, especially in preseason, I think is important, because that, I think will prove to have success later on when you show a good process like this. He was, I think, pretty twitchy and explosive off the ball. And when he would get DBs to open up his hips, he would try to work into blind spots, get them to open up. He was hand fighting here. Good job, getting that away. And then trying to lean in, create separation at the the catch point. Did enough job to turn these guys around, so I like seeing that. Here's where I basically wanted to see more work from him, lined up in the slot, in empty true slot stuff where he's man to man. And honestly, for him just running a quick hitch, it's very difficult to run a quick hitch versus man like this and actually have some separation. But he does a really good job selling that he's going to go vertical. Good footwork here, and then boom, snaps it off and sits at the first down. They throw it to their side of the field, but if they actually allow him to work in different, maybe run a whip route, just give him something, an option where he can actually break to the inside, the outside, give him a little more, freedom, flexibility here. But I still think it's a pretty, good job snapping off his route. He clearly is at least running his routes with a plan, which I like to see. Now I just want to see, how to expand, because I already know what we can expect with him with the ball in his hands, his play strength, contact balance, that's going to be good. He already showed that when he got the ball, and he did on punt return, kick return. I just want to see some more of this type of stuff here. It is nice that, like, at least versus when he did see press, I do think you're not going to see a ton of press, but you have to be able to beat it when you're playing even in the slot, even though they can protect you from it. He was getting press looks because he was playing on the outside a decent amount, single receiver side. This is not going to be his skill set, but it's nice to see. Explosive, twitchy off the ball attack, outside leverage here, get him to open up his hips. Now get back on your inside path, lean into him, and then create separation on the break. Now the ball is not being thrown because there's an underneath defender taking away the throwing lane, but he created separation man-to-man on the outside like that. That's nice to see. The ball just didn't end up going his way. And very interesting. I think they were trying to challenge him out there. He clearly was the best receiver that played like majority of the game because the other receivers really struggled and didn't get much going. But just want to see more targets potentially down the line in these preseason games, allow him to go to work. And then he was getting it done as a blocker down on this Jalen Wright touchdown. He threw his body into the safety, put him to the ground. Love that. Like maybe you want to see more stock blocking, but he was doing that stuff later on. But I love seeing the physicality, the dirty work. You want to, no block, no rock. So seeing that type of thing early on and effort-wise is good. But yeah, as you can see, he kept running. They kept working him on, these slants, these glance routes. This time he doesn't get to face off man, and he doesn't get to face press man. This time, he's facing, more of a zone match, corner over the top. Doesn't get to really get a chance, and the guy just breaks on it, plays it really well, the corner. I think, Malik probably could have given you a little bit of a better route, but it puts him in a much more difficult position when you're kind of running the same routes over and over again, and the guy just is sitting inside leverage exactly where you're going to run that, and that was one of the few targets. He at least didn't allow it to get picked because that DB had a very good chance of making that play. So hopefully we can see Malik used on more ideal concepts next week in preseason and week 3. And then I do think we're still going to see Malik get work with the receivers at some point this season. Here's in the slot where I was like, oh, this is what I wanted to see. They motion out the tight end, get a press man look with him in the slot where he actually gets to, run a route where he has a chance to get open. The ball just comes out quickly. I actually think he was the guy to go to in this situation, just based on leverage. But this DB does a better job getting hands on him. He's able to fight off of it. I love that he gets physical, works through the contact, then leans into him and then breaks the outside. And like if they threw this corner out to him, they had some they had some separation on this outbreaker if that's where the ball was going to go. But the ball already was coming out basically at the break. But I did like seeing him work through the physicality. I feel like he's very undersized, but he played tough and definitely showed off some of that physical play style to beat press. We're going to see how that is expanded, and I feel like it'll be very interesting to see that down the line. And Malik just still doing things as a blocker this time, going up there, stock blocking, throwing his body, squaring up, get hands in the chest, drive your feet, all of those things that you want to see out of a receiver when it comes to blocking. Very, very nice. And then this was a touchdown. He's the one who ends up getting this rub here. Takes a good angle towards the linebacker, like his first step hard to the inside, which makes this, you can see how he commits this. He goes like hard to the inside with his first step, which makes this linebacker want to work over the top of him, and then he gets back on his path up vertically to really slow him down, and now the linebacker's got to work underneath him, and you get this play out to Jeff Wilson. Also, I'm pretty sure he would have beat this corner just based on that route, even though he wasn't even trying to get open. He had the leverage on the corner. If that ball was going to him with anticipation, he probably would have scored a touchdown as well, which is interesting. But yeah, definitely doing your job. I feel like he was doing a lot of the dirty work, which is big. Now I just want to see some of the reps where he can get the ball more often. This is the first punt return. This one where it was very short, it bounced early. This is the one where he looked uncomfortable. It was his first rep. All the ones after this, he looked very comfortable catching the ball. You can tell he's very good at tracking. The ball skills are all there. He kind of, loses this one, but shows off still some impressive plays here. The traits you can get to see here. Like he picks it up and he's getting hit as he picked up. Doesn't have the ball wrapped. Still able to hold on to it, get hit like this, and then stay on his feet. That shows off some really impressive contact balance and the ability that he didn't lose the ball. Actually makes me feel pretty good. And then he kind of loses a couple yards, but he makes up for it in the other punt returns. And just the contact balance is really, really important. Here's one where he just catches it smoothly. He had a few of these and he just gets upfield, no wasted time. I like seeing that too. you don't always need to hit the big return. Just getting upfield, gain like 8 yards, perfect. And then this one, the last punt return I'm going to break down. This one was probably his most impressive play. Where the other one, he's catching it pretty easy up in the air, no one around him. This one, he had to run forward and catch it. Nice seeing him make the adjustment where the other one bounced, catches it, get upfield, gets the momentum off of it, and then shows off some of the explosive good footwork. Boom, explode out of that cut, get downhill. Then the balance here. Look at him, like he bursts through this contact, breaks the arm tackle. He gets tripped up, stays on his feet, and then flips up around, and then still fights forward for extra yards. That body control, balance, absolutely ridiculous in those situations. So I think Malik still showed the balance, the ability with his ball in his hands. That type of stuff is translated. You can still see the ball skills for sure. Comfortable hands catching. Now it's just, I think, getting down to the separation. Can he do it on a consistent level? I think, we're going to see more reps where he gets an actual chance to do that, especially when he's utilized to his actual, skill set. They're trying to, give him different challenges, different looks. But yeah, liked overall what I saw from Malik Washington. Good promise. The whole rookie class that the Dolphins had that played in this game. So, Patrick Paul, Jalen Wright, Malik Washington, Patrick McMorris, they all looked really, really strong. So I think that's a good sign for the future. That's what you want to see out of your rookie class in these preseason games. You want to see, all of them going out there and competing and looking very good. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace.